Hello, hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here. And this is part number 2 of our first look miniseries at Burden of Command, a game that is coming out in the first quarter of 2025. It is a tactical leadership RPG. We did get through the first kind of tutorial mission. We got a draw, so it wasn't a success, but it wasn't a failure. We are at Camp Pickett. It's the 24th of September, 1942, and we are training to face the dastardly Krauts in Germany in World War II. A couple different options it looks like I have here. It says click to read what they read. Oh, I guess that's just the pictures. All right. And then there's this, aid your men or continue your journey. I'm going to check this out and see what this is here. I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. Click a portrait on the right to review and aid your men, or question button at the bottom for more help. Let's aid second squad. Right. So this is stress, combat fatigue, casualties, XP. Every 100 XP generates a positive modifier for action and is reflected by star on the unit banner. A unit's own XP improves fire and morale checks. Leaders bolster this. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to go continue with the journey and see what happens here. So this is episode number 2 of our first look at Burden of Command.
Well, it was infantry. Infantry is different than cavalry.
So what?
We didn't have horses, but they had light tanks, and cavalry did.
So what kind of training then would you have in the infantry?
Bayonet. Bayonet. Hand grenade. You don't throw a hand grenade like a baseball. You lob it.
Soldiers of your platoon are weary in their boots as they march back to their starting places. The morning run and the recent field problem have both clearly taken their toll. Platoon Sergeant Bennett glances your way, and the unspoken question of whether to quicken or slacken the pace lingers between you. Let them rest, they're worn out. The men will be ready for coming exercises and suffer no suppression. They will also acquire no experience. Men will be slightly fatigued and suffer very little suppression. They will also acquire very little experience, or double time. Let's pick up the pace. You have Bennett pass along the order, and he calls a brief halt to form columns before resuming the march. It isn't a pretty line, but at least they're not dogging it about anymore. Naturally, they gripe about this unjust state of affairs. At the assembly area, the field umpire with the captain's bars idly adjusts his clipboard and then recites his expected line. This field problem concerns fire and movement, culminating with the assault upon the objective. Except this time, your platoon will have support from your company's weapons platoon. Heavy weapons coming up, Lieutenant, Sergeant Bennett notes as a dozen men from the weapons platoon move over. They don't have real 30 cals yet, just logs painted black. Those are supposed to be as heavy as the real thing, but the beefy officer leading the weapons platoon carries a log as if it were no heavier than a baseball bat. Lieutenant Stern. Hey Stern, we're about to kick off. That gives me +1 to verbosity. Wave Stern over, that's a -1. And the field umpire will take care of things. We'll go with that. Not without us, Stern calls back, his voice carrying well across the wild. You're almost late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes. It was a long run from the target range, Stern replies evenly, but it'll be the Krauts who'll be doing the running when we take a crack at him. Yes, well, today's objective is for a combined arms assault on the farmhouse down there, field umpire says, and points to the little house in the distance. Time will be, as it ever is, a factor. Stern is certainly eager. At least the umpire is staying focused. Wait until it's clear the umpire is done talking. Stern looks your way. Tell me what to hit, and we'll hit it hard enough for you to schlep right over, he says, then glances down at the 30 cal in his hands and chuckles. We'll pretend to, anyway. Back to your platoons, Lieutenant, the field umpire says to you both. You are allowed only limited communication while the exercise is paused. In particular, the weapons platoon will be initially unavailable. What completely valid reason is it for that? That's +1 to sarcasm. Understood. -1 to sarcasm. Rifles first because... Understood. Good, because it is part of the exercise, the field umpire replies, and that is apparently that. Remember, rifles first, then the machine guns. Stern gives you a knowing nod at that news. As the two of you depart for your different platoons, you consider how to best develop this field problem. Your 3 rifle squads are organized as part of 1st Platoon. Machine gun and mortars are part of the weapons platoon. Each platoon has a leader in command. Stern is in charge of the weapons platoon. So over here we have our rifle squads. Shooting expends up to 2 orders, 1 order to move. Machine gun team, 1 order to shoot, 2 orders to move. Mortars, 2 orders for movement and shooting, and the leader, 1 order to move or shoot. May use bolster, rally, and press. We've got everything but tanks, Sergeant Bennett remarks. Each platoon will have a different role to play. Unit gains temporary morale. Suppression removed as a rally. Suppression via combat shock. Some of the combat outcomes you will have to sort. And yes, these can be assessed by the GUI reference screen. The one you bring up by hitting question mark. All right.
Bennett tells me you're progressing, LT. So today we get to talk about tactics, not just mechanics. Without further ado, why don't we go to, I think, the core of how we're different from most tactical games that the casual gamer or others might be familiar with, namely bang, 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 you're dead games.
My son would be so mad that you use that as an example.
Games too. But I don't think of reality. You know, people don't want to die. You fire at them, they're going to get down behind the stone wall, and your bullets aren't going to do much. So, instead, you need what's called the 4Fs. So here we are in Germany. You've got elements of a rifle platoon. You've got Germans up north. And your goal is to suppress them first. You're not going to succeed in killing them. They're in pretty good cover, and they're going to put their heads down. So you've started firing, but it's not just bang, 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 even for suppression. You have to be smart. You have to use your leadership. You have to bolster, improving their fire. The leader is directing the fire here. He's using a heavy weapon, which is intimidating, higher rate of fire, puts more bullets around the squad. And, you know, when you hear bullets whizzing by, you start to be suppressed, meaning you're keeping your head down. And you can see the color bars here are telling us the state of the enemy's morale. They've gone from green to yellow, and they will shortly be at red. They've been doing an effective job here. He's suppressed. Ah.
Right, a whistle blows. Field problem begins. Finish the exercise before turn 2. Don't get anyone killed. Alright, right click to shoot. This consumes 1 leader and up to 2 rifle squads. Select the squad. Shoot. Rifle squads may shoot up to 5 hexes away. Shooting will consume 2 orders. Select the squad. Right click. They're surprised. Okay, well. Cover icons can be found in the unit hexes. No cover, light cover. All right, so as the badge fills up until it gets to green, that is the level of cover that they have. Stone walls stop bullets, Bennett says, but they're not invincible over there. We've got the firepower. Let's make them keep their heads down until Stern is ready. Prepare to fight. Give the order and your men take aim. The enemy is already partially suppressed, so this should be a little easier. All right. So we select you. And shoot at this enemy. I wonder if I could bolster. Okay. Ready. Well, they're already pretty good. I guess I'll just follow what the instructions are. Shoot this enemy. Odds look pretty good. I used a point to activate the squad as well. You signal Sergeant Grant across the way. He replies with equal vigor and gets the other squads into position. A glance through your binoculars reveals Private Roberts as the soldier squints through the circular iron sights at a distant target. Beside him is Private Hancock, who apparently has again mislaid the protective ears on either side of his submachine gun sight, no doubt to remove something he considers to be a distraction. Do a little shooting myself. Eventually gain 1 XP. Later option. Keep weapon slung. That's trust +1. I'm going to increase my trust. Officers are more than foot soldiers. Trying to be one is a bad trade. That's probably it for the rifle work, Sergeant Bennett says as the referee makes their calculations, but we could give them a taste of 30 cal instead. Same rounds, but lots more of them. We had permission to use a radio. No radios are available. However, we do have the flags. The umpire waves at a set of flags marked radio. You could always send a runner, of course, slower but more reliable if they don't get shot. Should have opened fire with the MG first. The rifles did some work. The MG can do more. What I really want to employ is mortars, which is, yes. Firefights can be complicated. Hold the Alt key to mouse over each section for a breakdown of what is going on. Okay. There is no counter to artillery, but when the shells get lobbed at range, not when the shells get lobbed at range. But the umpire didn't want that, so it didn't happen. Let's signal Stern with flags. You signal Stern with the flags, he signals back in acknowledgement. All the while, the enemy keeps their heads down.
We further reinforce that sense of limited command and control by dividing the turn into leader rounds. If it's your leader round, you only get to lead your men, and you don't get to lead them doing Stern's leader round. There's another reason we do leader rounds, to emphasize another coordination problem, namely coordinating your company of 4 distinct platoons, independently led. That's not easy, and so the rounds force you to choose what platoon is doing what. And there's a last reason. The military likes to say, the enemy gets a vote, meaning they're not going to sit quietly while you do all the wonderful things you'd like to do. They might want to do things that interrupt your plan. Kind of like happens in chess. You get a move, they get a move.
Game structure, Allied leader round, then the Axis leader round. Repeat the above cycle until Allied player passes end of turn. To get the heavy weapons involved, you'll have to switch leaders by ending the round. The enemy will then have a chance to react by taking their own round, but that can't be helped right now. Stern confirms this message. The umpire marks his clipboard. let's see. Always see who's leading. Right? If the leader is leading, that will be indicated. In just a little bit, the real star of this show will become the machine gun. Those can spit out a lot of firepower under Stern's command. Coordination takes time, Sergeant Bennett says, as the two of you watch Stern's men set up shop. No way around that, even if we had real radios. Players around. Player activates at least one squad under his command. His squad needs not expend all their orders. Enemies round. Stern's round. Stern activates at least one squad. Enemy round. Player squads may activate again.
That end toward the enemy.
All right, you could activate the squad, but do not do so yet. Okay, end the round. Halt. And fire with the machine guns. Oh. That's a sound to hear and fear, especially since the machine gun is firing at the enemy beyond the effective range of their rifles. Though it would have been even better if you'd bolstered the men first. Well, all right. Hereby, the field umpire checks his watch. Everything is timed. That was a lot of firepower worth the weight of carrying it forward, Sergeant Bennett says, but if we really want to make them huddle and puddle in their boots, we'll need the mortars. Lieutenant Stern will spot the fall of his unit mortar rounds from his platoon's location. The umpire indicates that's the only way to ensure accuracy. Leader can direct artillery from his position. Mortars don't need to be able to see the enemy directly to lob shells at them. They just need Stern to be in position to spot the fall of the rounds. Mortars could sit safely on the reverse slope of a hill, still contribute to the battle. In fact, that is preferred. Okay.
Lay it on him.
All right, left click on Stern. Spot with the mortars. Fire the mortar. Okay, so Stern. Left click here. Right click the mortars here. Left click here. What's this? And I left clicked on Stern. Left click here to spot for the mortars. Finally, right click to mortar this enemy. Oh, I gotta. Sounds like a machine gun to me. I guess I didn't. Uh-oh. Hang on. Get the mortars. I think I fucked that all up. Current active leader, other leaders are to the right. Okay. Well, here's the mortars up here. So we fired at him again with a machine gun by accident. Now we're going to lob some mortars. Here we go.
So, some of you will recognize this, but note there weren't any casualties. So, now we have to, ideally, flank and finish. And Dearborn, let's hope you can do the job here. So it's really about sort of laying down the field work for success. There's a lot of games that focus on drama of melee, but from what I've read, for instance, in Leo Murray's book, actually most assaults led to surrender or retreat because people suppressed don't really want bayonets in the stomach.
I know I wouldn't want a bayonet in the stomach. Moment of calm amid the chaos. Attacks against and beyond the flank. Click video. By support platoon attacking hostile flank directly. All right. Consider the situation in depth. Which gives me additional information and entertainment.
So I've simplified here, but if you want more depth, The Real Rule Small Arms in Combat, good 4-page article. War Games by advisor Leo Murray goes into some depth. I will say for most gamers we see in playtesting, this is a significant learning curve. They want bang, 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 you're dead, and they overdo it. We have to train them very hard to do the 4Fs. And with that, we have to train them to know the different types of units and their strength and weaknesses. And I'll let this speak for itself for a moment. Kind of your all-around guys. Notice they're getting into flanking position. Remember, 4Fs. This is our maneuver element. This is our fire base. Ideally with good leadership, unless you sent the leader to help with the assault. And you can move the machine gun, but then if you do that, they won't be able to fire, right? It's a turbo. Let's let the mortar speak for themselves now. Notice there was a line of sight blockage with the trees, but the spotter helped you. We model spotting. So your leader may creep up and direct indirect fire from behind the hill. It's combined arms to do the 4Fs. Can't miss a patent quote when you have the chance.
Right. Here we go, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett says as the moment of calm fades, there ain't nothing but a soldier can do about a shell that has his name on it. However, the squad isn't considered dead, merely pinned, the field umpire notes. And they'll likely stay that way until you execute an assault to either take prisoners or force the enemy to retreat. Bang, bang, bang. Not take positions or prisoners. Oh, I'm liking this. I am really liking this. The squad will just hunker down behind cover and wait things out. That's why you will need to make an assault. I am on it. Let's take them in the flank, Sergeant Bennett says. No one fights hard if you hit them in the kidneys from the get-go. And if we can stay out of their sights, so much the better. With stern ceases fire, you will attempt exactly that. A revealed enemy threatens these orange outlined hexes. They could perform opportunity fire on units moving through them. These hexes are safe, but unrevealed enemy could still be out there. Okay. The odds of successfully initiating an assault can vary greatly. Even a moderately suppressed squad will almost never be able to manage it. But if a squad is in good morale, gets bolstered, and then takes the enemy in the flank, well, they will almost always commence the assault. To see if the squad meets that criteria, look for the flanking morale boost indicator. Okay. So, end the round to switch over to the rifle squad. Like these units. Yeah, I want to bolster. Right? Let's bolster, I'm assuming. Bolster. bolster squad. Go.
That's the way!
Left click to select salt waypoint. All right. Waypoints. There.
Go, stop!
They didn't go where I wanted them to. I think I got him. Yay! Take that position. That's the way, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett waves you over as the enemy soldiers in their red armbands run off. It'll be harder overseas, but we've got the methods down here. Behind him, the field umpire ticks another box on his clipboard. Another enemy squad has been sighted, the field umpire notes. They were attempting to reinforce the objective and now have begun a counterattack. Must deal with them. What? Where? There, the field umpire said, but doesn't point. Whistles blow. The exercise resumes at once. New enemy. Nearby, here they come. All right, we are out of... We're actually out of orders here. The little green eye icon indicates that one of your squads is still undetected by the enemy. This. None of these guys are detected, but these guys are wide open. Okay. So the squad can move, but not the leader. Did I move him? Oh, no, they can't be seen. I'm going to move them into the woods. There. Now we don't have anything. So we have to end turn? Didn't gain anything? Alright, turns left. Field umpire makes another note on his clipboard. Great exercise so far, huh, Lieutenant? Sergeant Bennett asked, pitching his voice up to be heard by the field umpire. The lessons learned from the extended exercise will help save our lives. Valid point. Proceed. Alright. Now I want to do something about these guys. So this is second squad. Should I move him? I can move him up.
Stay low!
Right,
You think I'd do this on purpose?
can see. Oh, they're right down there. So they can't see, but he can. If I'm understanding the tutorial right, this guy can spot here. They're cowering. It's looking good. I kind of want to drop some mortars on. Don't know if I can, though. Try. Who's leading the round? This guy. I can't. All right, so he's leading the round. So we're gonna assault these guys. Remember, bolster. Okay, sorry. Bolster. Now we can assault. Do it. Wipe them out. Ooh, we took casualties. The other squad is taken prisoner. No running off this time. Whistles blow. Now the exercise is truly over. The field umpire signals for you and Bennett to approach. Okay. We had a minor victory. Earned 10 prestige, 7 loyalty from the men. That wasn't bad. What just happened here? Exit before story continues. Oh, we're at the end of this. All right. So, I think I'm gonna pick this up again in the next episode. Learning quite a bit. There's a lot to remember, but it's all pretty straightforward and very well explained. Like I said in the first episode, Luke did definitely one of the best tutorials I've ever seen out there. So good job with that. We will pick this up again in part number 3. Luke did say that there was a couple of scenarios, I think, that end in cliffhangers. So I'm looking forward to getting into those and seeing how those play out. Anyway, if you like the episode, hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, tips, or advice, leave those in the comment section down below. If you want to see how I do in a full release version of this, hit the subscribe. And we will do this next time in part number 3. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching and have yourself a very good day.